Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking another look at manufacturing, and this time we're going to be breaking some items down into component parts and looking about whereabouts you can start in regards to the process of manufacturing. So in regards to manufacturing, there are numerous areas of manufacturing that you can get into within Eve, and you don't always have to build the end product, or you don't have to build the product completely. So the first example here is we have a raven, which takes 7 of the basic minerals, you put it into a manufacturing slot, and at the end of it you will get a raven. So here we are, we've got the example of the Valkyrie Tech 2. Now, as you can see, this is also built up of several components or items. Tech 1 Valkyries, some RAM, the component T2 component parts, some minerals and some PI goods. So the interesting thing about this over the Raven is some of these items are broken down further. Now we've got PI items that start at PI level 1, 2, 3 and go to 4, but we're going to concentrate on the component parts for this one, specifically the trigger unit. Now obviously you need 10 here in order to build 10 Valkyries, or 1 per unit. But if we click on the trigger unit, it will take us into the prior screen, and these are the minerals or items that you'll need in order to be able to produce a trigger unit. And again, this is another stage of manufacturing that potentially you could do. And each one of these again are broken down, so we'll take that one, and as you can see it's built up of moon minerals or complex reactions from moon minerals, and again if we click on them or one of them, it will take us down to the actual base moon minerals. So that gives us 5 layers, I think it was, in order to get back to the Valkyrie. So potentially you can either mine the moon minerals and then react them, or you could buy these from the market and then do the reactions, just bearing in mind obviously that reactions can only be done in 0.0 or low sec. But the point is that there are different stages that you can always jump into in regards to manufacturing. So you don't have to do the very basic stage, you could jump straight into stage 2 and do it from here to produce the plates, or you could buy these in order to produce the trigger units, or you can buy the trigger units and build the Valkyrie. So one of the big bonuses for doing it in stages, or for concentrating specifically on an area, is that you can see pretty much at a glance whether something at the time of building is going to be profitable. Now obviously there are other circumstances to take into account, i.e. what the market's doing, whereabouts, but for instance for the Valkyrie here I can see that it's 603,000 installation cost plus the invention cost. I'm going to be making roughly just under 300,000 per unit there. So I can see pretty much straight at a glance, if I concentrate on this section, just building the Valkyrie from invention, then I'm going to make a profit. And we can do that again with the trigger units. Now if you click in here, you can add the ME and the PI, which is quite handy. And if we go to buy all again, 20,902 plus the installation cost, which is about 500, and we're selling for 27 minus tax means we'll come out with about 5,000 ISK profit. So again, I can see at the moment we've kind of flatlined. There's only a couple sell orders here at the 27-28 region, and then it jumps back up to 30, so it could be that the market is about to go back up for that. But the point is, again, as a slice I can see straight off whether this is profitable. Now that doesn't stop me from doing both, so I could produce the trigger units and then obviously combine the profit that I've made from the trigger units as well as building the Valkyrie. However, if the Valkyrie isn't selling for a profit and the profit I am making is coming from the trigger units, then again you're not making any extra ISK by adding in the extra layer of manufacturing. So as you produce it, it's not gaining you any ISK. In fact, you're actually just wasting time, and you'd be better off just selling the trigger unit straight on the market. So again, it's something to be aware of, that just because you've saved ISK building the trigger unit doesn't mean that it's free ISK for when it's going into Valkyrie, and that, so say, should always really be done from the market value itself. And again, at the moment that is really easy to see by using the industry window. And so that is acceptable. So I will take that and purchase. And there we go, we have 30 days of units, which at the current price, so as we said, will make about 5k per item after taxes. 33,089 is 165 million ISK. And there we go, I will give that to a freighter alt. I will take it to the system that I intend to manufacture, and then I'll click a few buttons and obviously the manufacturing process will take place. Now I'm not going to do it for 30 days, I'm going to use 10 BPOs, and again that will obviously make it 3 days in order to complete the manufacturing process. So on the spreadsheet I'll make a note of what price I paid for the components, etc. So 20.9k. And then I will basically look at the market in 3 days time, and I will decide whether I am going to put it on for the price that was initially listed or whether I'm going to put it on higher, etc. Now, as I said, I do read the comments, the good and the bad, in regards to obviously manufacturing, and one of the comments was, well, obviously when you come to edit your price, it's going to eat into your profit, and basically you're going to end up with pretty much nothing. And I've said this before in previous videos, and I'll say them again, that generally I don't edit the price that I put it on at. I will sit and wait. And as we can see here from the Nova Furies, these have been on here since, well, they've got 32 days until that one expires. Obviously I put this one on after. It should have technically have been on the other side of this, but hey, I made a bit of a mistake there. But the point is that obviously it has been on for 60 or 58 days at the current time. And so I'll keep them there to the point of where it's looking very much like they're not going to sell. So potentially I may have overpriced it. So for instance, we've got the heavy missile launchers here. I've got 521 of them, and they expire in 2 days and 17 hours. So they have been on for 87 days at present. And they're not going to sell at that price. That's because obviously when I put them on, there was a bit of a spike. It was probably around about here. So again, I was hoping to gouge as much out of it as possible, and I got stuck at the price. So if we look down, it's not absurdly high, but again, that buy order is going, or sorry, that sell order is going to run out. So if I let it run out and then relist it, it will cost me more than actually amending it at this time. So I am better amending the price. Now obviously this is going to cost me 7 million ISK, and it's now time to decide whereabouts I am going to place them. So $250, I think we'll go for 280. Now again, it's personal preference. Decide whereabouts it is that you want to take profit, and again I'm willing to wait another 90 days for them to get back to that price. It might not. Again, it's been at the million mark for quite a while. It has had a little spike recently, but who knows? Watch this space. And it's one of the things to consider when it comes to EVE. Things in EVE don't generally happen quickly, and again, I'm in it for the long haul, so having to wait 90 days for something to sell, I am more than happy to do. Now obviously some people want their items to sell quicker, but again, you are going to pay the cost in taxes, etc. in order to get that done. So it's up to you how you decide to do it. Obviously there are a few different tactics and ways, but again, that's for you to decide. This is what works for me, and this is how I do it. So the components have been transported to the station that I want to build them at, and as you can see here, we can build 33,089. Now obviously I've got 11 slots, so we're going to divide that by 11, and then I'm going to click build, and you see that's going to take me 2 days and 17 hours. So yeah, I'd rather have it done over a quicker time than the longer time, because obviously I've got the slots to spare at the moment because I'm not building anything else. So just getting it done as quickly as possible is the way that I want to do it. So as you can see, the whole of that process took minutes when all said and done. The longest part was transporting and possibly finding the item that I wanted to produce. Now, obviously, when we started, we were looking at the Raven. Now, we will take a look at the Raven from the contracts, because, again, it comes down to whether, at the time of looking at it to build it, whether it is profitable. And as somebody that's thinking about manufacturing, it literally should be the only thing that you are thinking about, or maybe not the only thing, but it is top priority of whether you can actually make a profit from it. So we looked at the Raven initially. Now, obviously, prices are a bit skewed at the moment due to ongoing price changes, etc. So the question is it profitable to build a Raven? 250 million ISK. We need to obviously install it. We will say we are going to do it in jitter just to make life easy. So 250, 265 million ISK to build it at this very moment. So obviously, as it currently stands, I wouldn't consider building a Raven because it just isn't profitable. Now, as we've looked at in the past, that I can get obviously minerals and that from buy orders, but that isn't actual manufacturing profit. So again, that's literally how easy it is to see whether it's worth building an item or not. Now, potentially you may not have a choice. You may be in 0-0 and the cost of transporting it in is obviously going to cost you more than actually building it, and then you can sell it on the market at a different price. But obviously in jitter, in high sec, these are the constraints we've got. Now, we could obviously build it next door in perimeter, but again, you're going to get roughly the same outcome. What you save in minerals, you will pay in job cost. Obviously you will save the time, etc. So it will come out roughly the same. In fact, instead of barking on about it, let's actually have a look, shall we? Tranquility production. So, okay, it's going to cost us 14 million and it's going to cost us 242. So that'll cost us 258 million ISK, and that's not including tax to then put it on the market to sell it. And generally, that should be how you're concluding whether that is profitable to build the item or not. That the time that it is spent in a manufacturing slot is actually adding value, or whether the value is being added elsewhere. So, for instance, the trigger unit is making profit, but if it wasn't, you need to look further down the line to see if or where the profit is being made, and then again concentrate on that slice of the manufacturing. And so with that, I hope that has been helpful, giving you a little, again, idea of where to start within manufacturing and what to do. Again, with simple Tech 1 items, then it's relatively straightforward, but with the more complex items, again, there are more layers of the manufacturing process, and it's deciding which part you are going to do, and again, whether it is profitable. Having to do 2 layers prior to make something profitable in layer 3 isn't manufacturing in layer 3 to make layer 3 profitable. The profit is being added at the earlier stages. So again, be careful not to wrap stage 1 and 2, for instance, and then think that because you're now manufacturing it in stage 3 that you are making the profit in stage 3. You could potentially miss out stage 3 entirely and just concentrate on stage 1 and 2 if both of them are profitable, or again just on stage 1 or on stage 2 or on stage 3. Now obviously if all 3 stages are profitable, then it may be a good idea to do all 3 stages, and then obviously you've got combined profit. But don't make the mistake of thinking that you're doing stage 1 and stage 2 and that therefore is then making stage 3 profitable. Each stage is either profitable or it isn't. If it isn't, miss it out or don't do it at all. And again, if you made it this far and you haven't already subscribed, then please think about it. Drop a like if you liked, and again, any comment are always much appreciated. It lets me know where people are struggling, what you need more information on, or whether there are other areas that I can help you with potentially. So with that, fly safe, thanks for your time, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.